So this is the first time I have ever actually done a show with someone that I've literally, I mean, I had something going on with Kyle Bain, but I listened to his show. I knew what his voice sounded like. This is the first time I'm talking to this guy, Ryan McCausland, right? That's did I get that right?
McCausland, no L in the
Oh,
beginning.
McCausland. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
fucking long name, man.
yeah,
It's okay.
and it's not what you would expect because usually with a name like MC, it's like capital M, lowercase c, and then capital next letter. But you don't have that with yours.
Well, it is. It's actually capital M, then lowercase c, then capital C.
Oh, I
It's
guess so.
a Scottish thing.
It's just not that way on your Facebook. It's
No,
just so
I don't give a shit how that fucking pronounce it, dude, or how they spell it.
you
It's
you
all
do
good.
that you do that to further confuse people. So yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? Let them say Miss Sosland, McCausland. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, there's always those different pronunciations in the names. And all right.
Well,
I'm
yeah, and
sorry.
it varies by region too. I mean,
Mhm.
people down south they don't even want to say my last name because it's too long and too many and stuff like
And
that. So they just say, "Hey,
you need
Ryan."
you need too many teeth to say it, I guess. I don't know. That was
Yeah,
a that's a jab right there.
that's
Um
all good, man.
all right. So I guess we'll just jump right into it because this guy Ryan that I'm speaking with now and friends with now, uh, uh, the reason that I know him, Ryan, the reason that I know you is
Oh yeah,
because, oh yeah, is because
oh yeah.
my friend Larry Foreman, shout out Larry Foreman and Jack Pipe,
Jack Pipe.
Jack Pipe, the band. I wish I knew when his band was playing so I could promote that, but it's all right. Listen to Larry Foreman's Jack Pipe. So anyway, I saw Larry Foreman wearing a shirt that said "Metalheads Against Animal Cruelty / Neglect." Uh, he's pointing at it right now and he's closing in. But this is not going to be this is an audio program, so they can't see it.
Oh
That's a
well, fuck them
yeah.
then.
All right, that's fine. Anyway, so yeah, his shirt said "Metalheads Against Animal Cruelty / Neglect," or "Animal Cruelty and Neglect," or "Neglect," however you like to say it. It's and it really caught my eye because I said, you know what, man, the whole metalheads and their pets, especially metalheads and their cats, that's a thing. That's a real thing. Now,
Yeah,
now you see me, you look at me, you hear me, you don't think metalhead, but I really do enjoy the metal. You look at Ryan, you think metalhead. He's got the chains, the tattoos, long hair, beard, and all that, you know, black shirt. So, I mean, I'm wearing a black shirt too, and I have a beard. So, I guess I can join. Um, can you tell us, excuse me, can you tell us how the organization came about?
yeah, actually. So it's kind of a little bit of a voyage back in time.
Mhm.
I've had three back surgeries in my life. It's been less than 8 years. And at my third one, which was caused in 2019, I got it in about April
Mhm.
2020. Um, the surgery left scar tissue on the nerves in my back, which caused my left foot to be paralyzed. Like I don't have control over movement, and I have severely weakened leg muscles in my left leg. And I can't go back to work for somebody. I can't like go
Mhm.
fill out an application and get a regular job like most people do. And I was working at the shelter that I actually tried to help, the Lakeshore Humane Society in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And
Mhm.
I was really kind of desperately searching for a way to continue to kind of help the animals. Um, and it really started, it was just me trying to share just like a place on Facebook that was metal and animals and anti-animal cruelty, and that was it. It was
Sure.
just about people sharing music and all that stuff. And I can't even remember who the hell said it, but they said, "Did you ever thought about like making merch, and then having, merch for sale, and then you could use that to donate to the shelter and help fund them." or do fundraisers, festivals, like we were talking about Metalheads Against Animal Cruelty
Mhm.
presents Anti-Cruelty Fest, and it's just kind of a thing that we're working up to.
Sure.
And I thought about it and I was like, well, I've never printed shirts before. I don't know anything about that stuff. So I picked up a cheap kit and it was really absolute basic stuff. And looking back right now, I really wish I hadn't gotten it because it kind of holds you back on size that you can do on certain things,
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. But really, it just started there, and has kind of
Okay.
grown since April 20th, 2020, up until now. And we've actually gone out of state. We have a charity that we like to support down in Rockford, Illinois, called Rockford Fishing Tight Lines. And their
Okay.
mission is to raise money to get kids back outside and off of TVs, off of video games and tablets and all that shit.
Sure.
And this will actually be our second year going. It'll be their second year actually putting it on. So, when we go out of state, I like to kind of split the money that we donate. So we'll split a certain part of the proceeds for Rockford Fishing Tight Lines and for a place called Pause down in Rockford, no kill shelter.
Okay.
And it kind of gives us a little bit more universal reach, especially when we're able to do stuff out of state because we're able to make an impact on another no kill shelter in different places.
Hmm.
We've got some admins and stuff that are trying to figure out how to set up festivals or at least tables at shows to support either us here or no kill shelters out by them. So it's kind of a cool thing. It's a real collaborative effort. I have a lot of people different working different gears um,
Hmm.
to help us grow and help us, maintain that mission and continue on with it. And it's
That's
just it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of people I've never thought I would talk to in my life, and
mm,
doing interviews like this. So
that's awesome,
I
man.
think I picked the right thing to kind of go and run with.
Absolutely. I and I am honored to be among those people that you never thought you'd be talking to and doing interviews with. Of course, obviously, we've only known each other for what, like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I
Two.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah. Yes, because I remember because when I saw the shirt, I said, "How do I get one of those?" And immediately you jumped on the thread and you were like, "Message me, I'll hook you up." And I'm like,
Yep.
"That's great. And that's awesome." So I bought the shirts. I bought two, one for me, one for my fiance. That they're really cool, really awesome, excellent shirts. And
Thank you.
they're uh $35 for a shirt, right? And you said
Yep.
that
Shipped.
including shipping, right? And you
Yeah.
said that for every shirt purchased, like you donate $10 to what do you donate to?
Well, we actually had to change that because we were losing money, and I can't really fund this without making a little bit.
I
So
understand. Okay.
we actually dropped it from $10 to $7 a shirt,
Okay.
and we donate to the Lakeshore Humane Society in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I
Okay.
actually, like I said, I worked there for 6 years, so I love those guys. They're great people.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So you donate $7. You donate $7 for every shirt purchased, which is great. And it's like, $35 a shirt. And you go, you represent, I go
Yeah.
work, my classes, uh whatever, and like just go out in public. And it's the kind of shirt that people will look at and
Yeah.
they'll say like, oh, like what is that? Because it's such a unique design. Now, of course, there is, like I said previously, there's the stereotype, the cliche, I guess you could say, of metalheads and their cats, metalheads and their
Yeah.
pets. You have what, like you have 9 pets?
Um, well, right now, we actually lost one of them not long ago.
uh,
But right now we have four cats,
mhm.
two dogs, a 4-year-old snapping turtle, and we have four freshwater fish. We
Wow.
used to have
Yeah.
5 cats and 2 dogs and
Mhm.
8 fish and the turtle, but some of
Okay.
the fish died and
Well,
animals
that
die.
that's
So
that that is going to happen, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
through their lives, you you don't want their lives to be shitty lives. You want their lives to be happy and like, you know, I believe you said, we're the voice for the voiceless. And
Yeah. That's what it's
like,
about, man.
yeah. And so, I do my part. Now I have two cats, and that's kind of all that's all we can really handle right now. But I'd rather take very good care of two cats than have like six cats and not be able to take care of them. Like it's what I do. And of course, they are our children. I don't have any,
Yeah.
we don't have any human children, so we use our cats to take the place of the children. And you know, this is the kind of thing that happens. They wake me up at 6:30 in the morning. I go and I kind of stumble into the kitchen. I give them their food. I go back to sleep.
Yeah.
It's just like a baby. So
Yeah.
now I don't know the first thing about actually, raising a child, but I
It's
know how.
not fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Um,
Yeah, not my favorite thing, man.
no,
But like
well,
for me,
yeah.
the animal thing has been there my entire life. I like as a
Mhm.
kid, I would go to creeks and the retention pond drains and we catch crayfish and snakes, and
Nice.
frogs, and
Hmm.
tadpoles, the schools of baby catfish, and take them home and all this stuff. And it just
Yeah.
in 2015, I actually started at the shelter, and I was like a weekend, and I was like, why didn't I start doing this when I started freaking working? I've been wasting my life on working on cars and houses and all this other shit, and my
Hmm.
passion is really for the animals,
Sure,
and
sure.
it's been nice because I was able to take a lot of that knowledge that I got at the shelter and apply it to my animals. So it gave me a massive understanding of like dog behavior and the
Sure.
cues of their behavior and cats too. So when my blind cat, my oldest one now, he's 8.
Mm,
um, he had an ocular infection when he was a baby, found on a farm, brought him to shelter, and his eyes were, the infection
yeah.
took his eyes. But he actually had a stroke 3 weeks ago, um,
Mm,
that he should not have survived. And the only reason really he was able to survive it is because I have the knowledge that I have to be able to give him what they call supportive care,
sure. Okay.
which,
Yeah.
so I really try to kind of educate people when it comes to stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just like posting metal and animals and anti-cruelty. If people have like an animal that's got, say, some behavior problems or they think something's wrong with it, people can actually post or
Mm,
message me or one of my admins and they'll get, a hold of me and we'll go and try to figure out a way we can help those people, help their pets at home so they can just, vets are expensive and not everybody's able to afford them.
sure,
So,
sure.
I
Well,
try to help people with a lot of different stuff like that because I love animals, man.
absolutely. Yeah.
I spend all my time with my animals, and
Sure.
I mean, hell, my turtle, he gets to go outside when the weather gets warmer. I take him out for an hour and we walk around the yard,
Yeah.
Not on a leash
That,
or anything because he's a snapping turtle and that wouldn't work. But
right.
like, I go out there and hang out with him and he just kind of cruises around, gets his sun on, and we
A
come
man,
back in. So
a man and his turtle. Yeah. That's you know, it's like some front page news right there. Man,
yeah,
man walks.
if we were doing a video interview, I'd actually go show you him, but we're not, so I'm not going to do that.
That's all right. I wanted to ask a little bit about you, kind of away from the animals, because
Sure.
like I very clearly you are very passionate about this. You're like, oh, animals are my life. I don't want to work on cars. I don't want to work on houses. I want to work on taking care of animals, and it's
Yeah.
extremely respectable. You have a Facebook group, and you are very clear. You say lovers of all music are welcome. It's not just metalheads. So we just want to
Yeah.
make that clear. If you're not a metalhead, you can still join. You can still
Yeah.
support the cause. That's totally fine.
Absolutely. I mean,
And if you're
and the only thing that sucks for those guys who aren't into like rock or metal is
uh,
we just don't allow that music to be posted.
okay,
So
I got
like they can post their animals all they want to and stuff, but we
you.
we would actually remove posts that are non rock
Non-metal.
based genres.
Okay.
Um, country and rap and stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
just they got plenty of exposure on the radio themselves, so they don't need our help.
Oh yeah, no, metal is underrepresented. I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
So as for the metal genre, the metal whatever, like I'm a metalhead, you're a metalhead.
yeah.
I'm more into the, I guess, more classic metal. I like Rainbow, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. I mean, don't get me wrong, I also love Pantera, I love Megadeth and Metallica and all those, but
Yeah.
definitely my focus, I would say, is probably like, 70s, 80s classic metal. Uh what's your favorite or preferred metal, or do you have one?
I love I love black metal, man.
Okay.
Like I came up on all Rainbow, Dio,
Hmm.
Metallica, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And in eighth, ninth grade, I was given Mayhem's first actual album,
Oh yeah.
and it took me probably about a year to really wrap my head around what I was actually hearing.
Hmm.
And when it like set in, and I realized what it was like total game changer for me, So
Nice.
I spent really the next
Hmm.
forever, really,
Oh,
I still do, you know, listen mostly to black metal, but I also, I like death metal first.
sure.
So I got a sweet spot for death metal. And I like, just hard rock stuff. There's a band called Blonde Viper.
Okay.
Um, they're a great bunch of people. Two of them actually used to do an internet type show that was called Todd and Terry's Nature Hour or
Hmm.
Nature Adventures. And it's really cool stuff. And I think of it as like a mixture of AC/DC, Cinderella, and a lot of other 80s bands,
Okay.
but it has a very different feel to it. And it's a lot slower than black metal. There's no screaming, there's
Hmm.
no blasting drums, but it's not just about that for me, man. It's what
Sure,
is
sure.
the atmosphere or the feeling that is portrayed in the music. How does it
Oh yeah.
impact
Oh
you
yeah.
personally? And I am really big on things like melody and atmosphere and harmonies, man. Those things matter more to me than the best fucking black metal band you could ever find, because
Oh
it
yeah.
hits me in a certain way.
Sure,
And
sure.
that's one of the reasons I love rock and metal so much, is because it hits me in a certain way, man. And
Hmm.
it's very like personal, I feel something from it. So,
Sure. I get, yeah.
I listen to a lot of different shit though.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I do want to make it clear. Of course, I'm sure you're the same. I love metal. I love a lot of stuff. I like hard rock, classic rock, soft rock, classical music. I love, like opera, jazz. I love that, like, because it speaks. I'm a musician, so I
I
would I
used to be.
what did you play?
I bass and guitar, but I got carpal tunnel in my wrist, so I can't
Ooh.
maintain the
No,
speed and
yeah,
stuff that I was able to back in the day.
right. I
Especially with the
yeah.
bass, because I don't play bass. Like for me, I play note for note bass instead
Mm.
of just bass lines.
Sure, sure.
So I'm actually trying to follow the guitar players, not the bass players.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because the music actually sounds so much heavier and fuller when the bass and the guitar are following
Oh yeah.
each other, instead of like kind of just the bass is just kind of playing a rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I can tell you. I mean, I'm a drummer. I also play guitar and bass, and it is like it gets a little rough when you're like just squeezing the fretboard constantly. It does start becoming, even now. Me, I don't even have carpal tunnel, but like that, it becomes like you get, your hand gets fatigued on the left
yeah,
side, probably even on the right side too. But I don't play that much to make that happen. But yeah,
yeah,
I get that, man. When you say like, oh, I got carpal tunnel, like that sucks. That sucks. And
yeah. It does,
yeah.
because I actually had started playing again. I was writing a couple of songs that I was going to see some local musicians about, see if they could like help me out finishing it, and then adding drums, bass, and vocals.
Hmm.
But I had to kind of abandon that because I got about 2 minutes into my song, It was about God, 5 riffs in,
Yeah,
and my wrist said I'm done.
that's it.
And for me,
Yeah.
my carpal tunnel, it feels like I got someone stabbing me through the wrist.
Oof.
And it just like
Yeah.
my hand locks up and I can't do anything. It's like I'm done.
Yeah.
That's all. And
I understand.
it
Yeah.
sucks because I really put a lot into that
Hmm.
song and stuff, and it was a really cool sounding song. It was black metal, obviously,
Right.
but it was very melodic. It was very cool sounding, and I just kind of had to abandon it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I hate those kinds of stories because now, of course, it hits me personally because I am a musician. I hear about people who are like, oh, I played football and then I hurt my hand. I can't play anymore. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't
yeah,
relate to it personally. I'm not a football player or even really an athlete, but as a musician, I can say that really hurts. Like it hurts me to hear when someone else can't play, like a guitar or bass anymore because of something like
yeah,
that. And so, yeah, I mean, makes you want to dive deeper into your work with your animals, right? You know?
yeah. And like,
Mhm.
man, it sucks, but I mean, when I was able to sit down and just play and for extended periods of time, I
Mm.
was never really that dedicated to it.
Okay. All right, I got
Um,
you. Okay, then that makes it hurt
I,
less for me.
yeah, it's just I had so much other stuff going on in my life
Yeah.
then. I had cars and girls and parties and school and work and all this stuff, and it seemed like I just couldn't make time
Yeah.
for like dedicating myself to practice and all this other stuff every week. So I just
Mm,
kind of I put that on hold for a while. I was like, I'll pick it up sometime,
I
and
gotcha.
I just kind of dabble now. When I'm feeling a little
I
like I
I
want to
understand.
play, I'll pick it
Yeah.
up and I'll play for a little while, set it back down, and put it away for a week or two. But
Yeah, I get it. Well, yeah, if you ever see my apartment, there's guitars everywhere. They're not even mine. Well, one of them is mine. Most of them are my fiance Lara's. I have a bass and a guitar, and then there's like six other guitars just kind of like hanging up on the wall, like on stands everywhere. You can't go anywhere without tripping on a guitar here. So
yeah,
yeah, like we're very dedicated. And I'm a drummer. We can't have a drum set in the apartment, unfortunately, but uh, yeah. But I make do. I still play my shows. I still rehearse with the band. Fortunately, it doesn't really get in the way that I can't practice regularly. But I wish I could because I'd feel like I'd be even better. I feel like I'd be a lot
yeah.
better than I am if I could practice regularly. But I guess them's the breaks. So
Well,
that's
I
yeah.
mean, sometimes, dude, it comes down to
Hmm.
adulting sucks.
Hmm.
Because there's like for me, there's so much stuff I want to do, but I gotta maintain the group. I gotta try to be active in the group and keep up with orders, getting them out. I mean, we talked about that. How
Sure, sure.
I hate when you order something from a thing, and a week later you get a thing where they're preparing to ship it. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing and
Yeah.
sitting on my money, man?
And yeah, no, that's not
So
right.
for me, I usually try to get things out to people within 7 days of their actual order being placed.
Mm.
So I don't actually have like a stock of things right now.
All
My
right.
house
Okay.
is just like we don't have space to
Mm.
store uh 15 different designs in every single size.
I
So
get it. Yeah.
every order is actually made fresh
Specifically.
when you do
Yeah.
it. So I'm like
I see.
Burger King.
Hey,
You get
there you go. There you go. Well, I would tell you something like as a drummer, like you start your adulting early. I was I it sounds weird that I'm like saying this in response to that because I was like in response to something you said a few minutes ago. Um, yeah, I started adulting early because I started playing on a real set when I was in eighth grade. I was like, what was I like
Oh wow.
13 years old. And yeah, we had a drum set in the basement and I often wasn't allowed to play it because my parents would be home. My older brother was home always, and everyone was always like, "Stop playing, stop playing, stop playing." And I'm like, "How am I supposed to get any better?" So you get
Yeah.
you find ways around it, and that's what I did. And you know what, man, you know I'm probably doing pretty well for myself. People want me to play in their bands, so that's a good sign. Anyway, I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's awesome, dude.
um, I guess. unless you have anything else that you'd like to speak out about. I think that should just about do it here.
Yeah, it's totally up to you, man. If you
Yeah.
got more questions, I am good to go.
Well, no, I personally don't have any questions. I'm just saying, like, if you had something that you wanted to, kind of say, hey, public, this is something that I have to talk about. And that's
Well, I
but
mean, really, I mean, we kind of went over it, but if we're going to address the public, I
mm-hmm.
would say, guys, just because you don't like rock or metal doesn't mean you can't come in. We covered this already, but
Yep.
it's true. And I
Yeah,
care about my members.
of course.
If you have a problem with somebody that's in there or somebody's causing you problems, you contact me or one of my admins and we will take care of it for you.
There you go.
We want you in our group. We want you to help us not just be the voice, but be the difference for the animals.
Oh yeah,
The
sure.
only thing I care about is that you feel the same way we do about animal cruelty, and it's not about it's not a vegan thing either, people are omnivores, and that means that we eat meat, and I just think that it's bullshit that we have animal testing and we have cruelty to farm animals. To me, it doesn't matter that animal's going to die anyway. So why treat it good? You know what? I see it really this way. That animal has to pay the ultimate sacrifice for our survival.
Yeah.
We should honor that, unwilling sacrifice by treating them right while they're alive.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like, the whole idea of what's the point? They're gonna die anyway. We don't need to treat them well. Everyone is going to die, whether you live to be 100 years old or if you're only alive for a year, everyone dies. So why does anyone need to be treated well? So yeah, I like you were saying, we're humans, we eat meat, it happens. I try to avoid it, and not even because of my I don't have necessarily an anti-meat way of thinking that is anti, eating meat as food way of thinking. But yeah, animal cruelty it's an absurd thing. It's a ridiculous thing, and I can't believe that like someone like you has to come out and speak out against it because it's such a common thing. I don't understand why people do it.
Well, in all truth, it is a clue to primitive societies using animals and or violence for entertainment, or pleasure. It's humans. We need to evolve past where we are, and when it comes, like, I talked to a guy a while back about the vegan thing, and I said, listen, man, a bear doesn't feel bad about killing a freaking deer in the woods. That thing is getting eaten while it is alive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I believe in humanely killing that animal and processing it that way. It's just, it's not that I don't like the vegan agenda as much as I don't really agree with it, because it doesn't fit in with nature.
Right.
And human biology, and I don't think less of people that make that life choice, unless they try to force it on everybody else. But it's nature, and nature is cruel. We don't have to add to that cruelty.
Yeah, 100% agreed. So the group is Metalheads Against Animal Cruelty / Neglect. Ryan McCausland.
There you go.
you wanna tell people if there's anywhere else that you can be found, if you wanna, someone wants to just shoot the shit, or is there anywhere else where people can find out about this group of yours?
Well, you can actually Google it. There is the group, and the private group on Facebook, and then there is the place page. I don't do a huge amount with the place page right now on Facebook because it's just not growing, and I don't have a lot of stuff to kind of show people. So I usually will post merch or people wearing their merch to kind of show people that, look, guys, people are actually buying stuff and they like it. So get a hold of me. But if you're not on Facebook and you want to get a hold of me, my email address is lowercase MOONCHILD 61501 at Yahoo. So it's Moonchild, Iron Maiden song, 61501 at Yahoo. And all you got to do is just say, info for merchandise or whatever. Yeah. And I check my email throughout the day. I have to. So I will actually see it. I also respond to non-friend messages on Facebook. I check both accounts throughout the day as well, so I don't miss anybody. And then, when people like you had commented on Larry's thing saying, hey, I want a shirt, where do I talk to you? I try to jump in there because I feel like if I snooze, I lose. And I'm going to put myself out there for people so they know that I'm actually responsive. And
sure.
Just goes there. We plan on doing a website and everything else to make things a little bit more streamlined, so people that don't want to talk to me don't have to talk to me. But websites and all that stuff can be expensive. So it's just we're putting our feet down and we're hunkering down and we're going to do it. It's just as soon as time allows, or we get people that are really behind us and they say, hey, we're going to pay for your website or blah 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 or whatever the hell it is I need. We just need more people out there supporting us, spreading the word, talking about us, telling them what the mission is, and we'll get there. And that includes festivals and different things in different states and the whole shebang.
Nice.
We just need your help, not just you, John, but everybody listening to this right now. We need you.
That's it.
Everyone, be the difference for the animals.
Everyone buy a shirt. Everyone say, I don't approve of animal cruelty. And cool. So
yeah, we got hoodies, long sleeve shirts. I got t-shirts, flags, both full size, which is 18 by 21, and then garden flags that you can literally slide right onto your garden flag holder, and it's good. I've done basketball shorts for drummers, John.
Oh, nice.
Wink, wink.
Nice.
And I've done. My dad had cancer, so I actually did a pair of cancer sweatpants for him for his treatments. And it's like, if you have an idea for something you might want, contact me because I could probably make it happen for you.
All right, cool.
There's tons of ways to do your support. My cheapest thing is a decal, $8, and you get it, and it goes on your car, and it's gonna stick for a long time.
Nice.
I've gone through the car washes. So they're good to go, man.
Nice. Awesome, man. So you heard all this stuff. If you want to support the cause, reach out to Ryan and he'll send you, if he can, if he is able, he will send it to you. And as for me, if you want to find me, you can email me for the show, bshour6@gmail.com, bshour6@gmail.com. Talk to me about anything that you'd want to hear about. Talk to me about how you want to hear Ryan on the show again. I'm happy to get him back on the show. We'll talk more about
totally down for that.
Anything.
Man.
Facebook, John Seymour, JON space SEYMOUR. I'm sitting behind the drum set. I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. You can't miss it. You just can't miss it. It's a Mickey Mouse shirt. Listen to Greg Vorob's podcast. My friend Greg Vorob has a Star Trek The Undiscovered podcast. Ryan, I don't know if you're into Star Trek, but my friend Greg Vorob has a Star Trek podcast. There's a few hosts. They all come up with their own ideas. They cover the entire spectrum of Star Trek franchise. Yeah, I guess that'll be that for us today.
Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for number one, your support, your interest in what I do, and having me here.
Sure.
I'm definitely totally down for coming back.
Absolutely, yeah.
And doing it all over again, man.
Cool. Yeah. And in return, I would like to thank Ryan McCausland. I got it right this time. Ryan McCausland. Ryan, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Ryan McCausland. McCausland. Ryan
there we
McCausland.
go.
There it is. All right. We're just gonna do a huge edit on this part. Ryan McCausland.
No, don't worry about it. It's funny, man. Leave it.
No. Of course. No. I always say I'm gonna edit it, and then I never do. That's the joke. And now that I've outed myself on the joke, I'm gonna keep doing it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Ryan McCausland.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ryan McCausland, for being on the show. I am, by the way,
having me, man.
I am, by the way, notorious for getting last names wrong. So it's not
Hey,
personal.
I kept doing it with your last name, so I mean, we're both guilty.
That's true.
I just can't pronounce yours wrong.
Right. You spelled it wrong. You just Seymour. Oh, that's a tough one. All right. And on that note, I will be saying thank you, Ryan, and
Thanks, man.
we'll see you next time.
Oh yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone.